Hello everyone and welcome back to La Vida Football. My name is Luis Laureano. I am a UEFA B licensed coach from California, currently living and coaching in Germany. So today we're going to be talking about the 4-2-3-1 formation tactics with respect to defensive pressing. And we will do pressing on the 3/3 of the field. So we will do a high press on the offensive third. We will do a middle field press in the middle third, and then we will finish off with a defensive press in the defensive third. Okay, so here we have a 4-2-3-1 formation again that we will be working with, and in blue the opponents are going to be set up in a 4-4-2 formation. And the tactics that we do here with the 4-2-3-1 versus a 4-4-2 could essentially be adapted with respect to the opponent by making little changes. Of course, we're going to focus on the 4-2-3-1, but the movements should be similar. The ideas, the concept of where we want to win the ball back should be similar. And again, with respect to the opponents, you just have to make some adaptations so that we can still try to recover the ball in those areas. So we're going to begin with a high press. As you can see, we have a line of 3 on top. So our 4-2-3-1 has now been adapted, and essentially now it looks something more like a 4-3-3 formation. And that is because the 11 and 7 pushed up to essentially help the number 9 create a little bit more pressure so that the opponents essentially have to play faster and have a little bit more pressure and have to make quicker decisions. Okay, if we take a look at our middle field, now the 6, 10, and 8, they are a little bit more spread out. And this is essentially just at the beginning, before we know what the goalkeeper is going to do, where the goalkeeper is going to pass the ball. Once the pass is made, of course, the team is essentially moving together. And because we are so high up, all these actions need to be done quickly and essentially in sync with one another. So let's begin. Now, with the new rule, we can have players inside the area box. So here we have the left center back and the right center back inside the area box. Okay, so we're going to start off with blue playing out the back to the left side, so our right side. So the first pass here will be to the left center back. So now when that pass is made, certain movements are made, again, quickly and in sync. So the movements are happening simultaneously. So I won't move all of them at once. I'm going to move everyone one by one so that you guys can see the different movements that we will have. But again, the movements should be done together at the same time and at a high speed. So our number 7 here is essentially pushing up, but that was a straight run, and the idea is that we do want to move forward, but the run should be a little bit more angled, essentially trying to eliminate the pass back to the goalkeeper, but not too far that that the number 7 gives a clear way for the center back to essentially move it forward, or quite an easy pass to the left back. Okay, but enough for the play to start getting steered to the left side. And on top of that, we have our number 9 who will be putting pressure on the goalkeeper and essentially cutting off the pass to the other center back and essentially to the other side, while at the same time adding pressure to the goalkeeper here. Okay, the number 11 tucks in a little bit, essentially ready for a pass to the middle. And then as that happens, our number 10 and our number 6 are shifting. So 10 recovers that position to block the midfielder, and then the number 6 essentially moves in as well to defend the other player. Okay, so these movements are quick And the number 7 has the first task of putting that pressure, but the number 8 should already expect that the next pass that we want to steer the game to the left back. So then the number 8 would already be putting that pressure there. When that happens, then we will have that situation. So then the number 8 will be the first player there, essentially in front of the left back, and then quickly our number 7 comes in to create a 2 versus 1 with the left back, adding that pressure, coming at full speed again. So one more time, the key points in this trap here is that our number 8 and our number 7 essentially start off doing a quick press. Once the pass is made, the number 8 will already be adding that pressure, but the number 7 is essentially sprinting towards that ball, trying to create that 2 versus 1 with that left back. So that is the first trap. Again, with the high press, a lot of movements, everybody's shifting, of course. I didn't move the back line, but everybody would essentially be moving and shifting and moving towards the ball. Okay, so that's essentially how the field would be looking there. The 2 would be tucking in a little bit more, 4 and 5 would be shifting a little bit more. And that is the first high press. Let's take a look at another situation. So if you take a look here, we have in blue again the opponents. The left and right center back are now on the outside of the area box. So earlier we had them not tucked in, but inside the area box. And our 7 and 11 were a little bit closer together, essentially creating 3 man-to-man situations there. But now that the center backs are farther out, this gives the left and right back a little bit more opportunity to push up a little bit higher. And that being said, our first line of defense essentially is a little bit more spread out. Okay, so as you can see here, the 11, 9, and 7 are a little bit more spread out than they were earlier. Okay. Now, we're going to build or play out the back to the right side so that we can also see how this works and using the players on the other side as well. So for anybody that would like to see it on the other side, we're gonna play the ball first to the outside. And here is the first action. And like we did earlier, because we are so high up the field, we want everything to be fast, to be quick, precise. Timing is important, speed is important, and understanding and being in sync is important. Okay, so this is definitely something that you guys will have to train really hard for. But once your team can get it, then these traps should be possible to essentially perform in a match. Okay, so here the first ball is to the outside. And now we have our first line of defense creating the first actions, essentially steering the game, keeping the ball on the right side now. So our number 7 will be moving towards the goalkeeper now, essentially standing around the penalty spot. The number 11 would push up and also steering the game a little bit to the outside. But first, essentially running straight, because if the player steers a little bit too much, then this pass, if it comes too early, it would be very difficult for us to recover the ball. So when that pass is made, we do want to run towards that player, a little bit angled, but not too much. Essentially, we want enough time that if the ball gets played right away, that our number 11 can be there to help the number 6 number 10 shifting over, number 8 shifting over, so that we can try to create a 2 versus 1 there. But again, that is essentially if the pass is quick and and we don't get to essentially move players a little bit faster. Okay, so now let's say that number 11 manages to stall that play, because at the same time as that number 11 is putting that pressure, trying to stall that pass, our number 9 is the one that's making that quick sprint towards the right back, creating that 2 versus 1 situation with the number 6. Again, our players shifting that way. But again, that is if the pass is made, where we of course make that 2 versus 1 situation. Here we have the 6 and the 9 putting that pressure on the right back. Our number 11 would essentially cut the pass to the center back. Our number 7 would tuck in, or not tuck in, essentially shift over towards the to the left side, so that we can essentially just cut off players, cut off any visual to the other teammates, so that we can essentially recover the ball here. Okay, so with this high press, we either try to create a 2 versus 1 with the 6 and 11 if the pass comes quicker than our 9 can be there, or 2 versus 1 with our 6 and our number 9, with our number 11 cutting off the pass back to the center back. That is the high press, or pressing on the offensive third. Now let's go to the midfield. We go back to our 4-2-3-1 formation in the midfield press. Our number 9 is alone, acting as a player to steer the game either to the right side or our left side, or to the other side. Okay, and we can also use our number 9 as a decoy by putting our number 9 a little bit higher, or allowing the number 9 to be a little bit higher, essentially giving the center back the option of passing to the outside or directly into the midfield. And if we take a look at the general formation and positions of the 4-2-3-1, we have 4 players here, 2 players in the midfield there, and then we have 3 essentially covering the middle area. That being said, there's a lot of players in the midfield, and there is a lot of opportunity for us to create an outnumbering situation. Therefore, when we create these plays, we would actually prefer the ball to be in the midfield, so that we can use that numerical advantage and essentially create a counterattack situation if we could. Okay, so the number 9, if they are used as a decoy, then we are essentially hoping that the ball gets to that midfielder, and immediately putting that pressure on that player, and then the number 9 essentially pressing from the high, pressing from on top, creating even more pressure and trying to block the pass back to the center backs. Okay. Of course, these are midfielders, and midfielders are essentially players that can handle that type of pressure. But if there is a bad touch, we just want to be there for if that happens, so that we can recover the ball and then essentially go the other direction. Okay, but that is again using the number 9 as a decoy. If we do not want to do that, or if we think that's not going to work, or if we've tried it already, then again we do our steering, and then trying to get that ball back in the middle, so that we can create that numerical advantage there. Okay, so we've done playing out the back on the left side, then we did playing out the back on the right side. We're going to go back to playing from the left side. Okay, so then if the pass is there, then we just move a little bit. All our players start shifting a little bit, so the number 7 doesn't move out too much, because we still have a player there in the midfield that we need to pay respect to. and be aware of course. But now here we have the pass to the left back, and then this is where the run from the number 7 is important. So the run is a little bit angled so that we try to create the situation where we want this player to play to the middle. So then what we want is for that pass to come to the outside first so that we can re-steer it to the middle. Okay, and the way we do that is when that pass is made, our number 9 of course is already coming in again, trying to cut the pass back. Our number 7 is moving in a way so that they are covering the pass forward, but yet giving and essentially offering the pass to the midfield. But while this is happening, of course, our number 10 and our number 11 are shifting over. And then our number 10 could have the comfort of moving up a little bit, shifting a little bit more, because here we will have our number 8 who will be ready to step up in case that pass does come to that player. So when this happens, our number 6 is going to have to shift over as well, of course. And our 5 and our number 4 will be shifting as well. But we will have that help from that number 2 on the other side so that we can essentially have a 3 versus 2 here. And if the ball goes to that side, to this player, of course, we should theoretically have enough time to shift over. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Right now we worry about creating outnumbering situations. Here we have the 3 versus 2, which is what we want. The number 6 is also there to help, also creating a 3 versus 2 here, or a 4 versus 2 there. A 3 versus 1 I meant, and then a 4 versus 2 there. Okay, so what happens now? The left back falls for that trap and then essentially passes to the midfield. Number 8 goes on high gear, 10 goes on high gear, creating a 2 versus 1 with that number 9 now re-shifting focus and going towards that player, trying to create a 3 versus 1, adding all that pressure and intensity to recover the ball and essentially get the ball to go the other way. Okay, so that is a trap in the middle of the field. Again, trying to do a middle field press, which means trying to recover the ball essentially here between the back line and the front line, meaning the defensive line and the striker line. So now let's go to the defensive press. Okay, so here we are with a defensive press, and as you can see here, we have our players, of course, really far back, and here the focus is on the second and third passes. The first one doesn't really matter because we're actually allowing the team to move up. So then this pass from goalkeeper to center back or center back to center back, for example, like this, is not so important, and it's not really in our focus because they can pass back and forth all they want. All we're going to be doing in that time is just moving left to right little by little, and that's a few steps, right? There's not much work that is needed when this pass is happening. Okay, but of course we need to be attentive to the players on the outside. As you can see here, when we are doing a defensive press, we are a lot more compact. We're a lot more closer together because we are so close to our goal that essentially we need to be moving together and creating a crowding situation in the middle area, because if the ball goes to the outside, we should have the legs to make it to that to the opponents on the outside. But in the midfield, we want to be compact, we want to be tight, and essentially try to get the ball again. But this time we are going to use the formation's weakness as an advantage. So this formation is very strong in the midfield because of all the players, but this opens the vulnerability in the outsides. As you can see here, if we are so tight together, the right midfielder and the right back essentially are free. Okay, and we're gonna use that to our advantage, like I mentioned, by creating a trap on the outside, but essentially moving together and using the options that we have there. Okay, so here we have the center back passing to the right back. Okay, so then when that happens, our number 9 shifts over. So now we don't get too high. We don't try to cover the pass back to the right center back, because then this would essentially open up a pass here. And then if we get a pass there, and if we're not essentially quick enough, that they could quickly get us to tuck in a little bit more, creating even more space on the outside. Okay, so then we do not want to get ahead of ourselves. We want to remain close. We want to remain tight. That being said, our number 9 doesn't go up too high, but the number 9 does shift over towards the ball, essentially only to do like a more laid back pressure. Okay, so now we have our number 11, number 9 ready for whatever happens next. Our number 2 is shifting. Our defensive line is shifting. So we have our center backs and then our right back, number 3, shifting over there. Okay, so now here's where the key point is. So then, depending on how long this player takes with the ball, our number 9 will start creating pressure and then slowly start shifting or steering the game towards the right midfielder. And then our number 11 is essentially also moving, but not too much, because the next pass is important. Okay, of course this player can receive the ball, but our number 10 is there, and then our number 7 is also tucking in to create a little bit more crowding in the midfield so that the ball goes to the outside now. So then when that pass goes to the outside, boom, now we have our 2 there already, and our number 11 creating that pressure. Our number 10 is returning. If the number 10 is a little too late, then our number 6 will be the one to cover that space there, and then the number 10 would replace that position by moving in between the 6 and 8. But number 10 should be ready to essentially cover that space. Number 7 should be shifting over a little bit. But what's important here is that our number 2 and 11 create that 2 versus 1, and then our number 9 cutting off the pass back to the right back, and then essentially trying to recover the ball. Okay, well, I hope that helps. I hope the tactics in this video helped you and that they were easy to understand. And if you guys have any questions, please comment that in the comment section below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Again, this was a video with the 4-2-3-1 formation, talking about the different pressing with this formation in the different thirds of the field. So we did a high press on the offensive third, a midfield press in the middle third, and then a defensive press in the defensive third. Like the video if you like it, and please don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so that you get notified every time I come out with a new video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.